I am 87 years old, and my children do not respect me. Now, somewhere in this story, I'm going to say a two-letter word, just two letters, that would have saved everything. My dignity, my family, probably my soul. You got to listen close, because if you miss it, you'll end up right where I'm sitting. My kids don't disrespect me because I was cruel. I never raised a hand to them, never drank away their future. They lost respect for me because of one mistake I made every single day for 60 years, and I didn't even know I was making it. I got a welcome mat sitting at my front door right now. Been there going on 30 years. Used to say welcome in big block letters, but you can't read it anymore. The rubber backing is cracked, corners curling up like old paper, and the fiber is stamped so flat you'd mistake it for a piece of wet cardboard. Every morning, I open that door, grab my paper, and step right over it. And every single morning, it reminds me of exactly what I became. Everybody who ever walked into my life stepped right on that mat without thinking twice. Same way they stepped on me. And before I go any further, if this old man's voice means anything to you at all, I need you to do one thing. Hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. You ain't doing it for me. I'm 87. I got no use for followers. You're doing it so the next young father scrolling at 2 in the morning finds this before he makes my mistake. That's all I'm asking. Help me reach him. Let me take you back. 1962. I was 26, just married my Margaret, had our first boy Tommy on the way. My daddy raised me on one rule: a good man keeps the peace. That's what he drilled into me. Keep the peace. Don't make waves. Don't cause trouble. Say yes. Smile. Be decent. So that's exactly what I did. My boss at the plant, guy named Harold Whitmore, he'd stack overtime on me every Friday because he knew I'd never push back. I'd miss dinner, miss bath time, miss putting Tommy to bed. Margaret would be standing at the stove reheating my plate, lips pressed tight, eyes heavy, steam curling off food that stopped tasting like anything 2 hours ago. She'd say, "You gotta stop letting people run you over." And I'd say, "I'm just being decent, Maggie." Then there was Dale, the neighbor 2 doors down. Borrowed my truck in '71. Brought it back with a dent the size of a cantaloupe in the passenger door. Didn't apologize. Didn't offer a dime. I looked at that dent every morning in the driveway, and you know what I did? Not a damn thing. Because a good man keeps the peace. Thanksgiving, 1974. Margaret's brother Ray, big, loud guy, always holding a bourbon and an opinion. He's sitting at my table, eating my turkey, and he looks right at me and says, "What kind of man works double shifts and still can't afford to fix his own gutters?" The whole table went silent. My kids were sitting right there. Tommy was 12. Lisa was 9. They were looking at me, waiting for their daddy to say something. And I just passed the gravy and changed the subject. Now that 2-letter word I told you about, Margaret practically screamed it at me 100 times over the years. But we ain't there yet. Keep listening. Being a pushover don't happen all at once. It ain't one big moment. It's 1,000 tiny surrenders. It's your 14-year-old son Tommy watching you apologize to a stranger in a parking lot who scratched your car and didn't even look back. I stood there and said, "It's all right, no harm done." And Tommy's face, God, I can still see it. Not angry, worse than angry, disappointed. Like he was watching something he used to look up to melt into something he felt sorry for. If you're still watching, I need you to hear me. This story ain't about me anymore. It's about you. What lie are you living right now? That if you keep your head down, keep saying yes, keep swallowing your own voice, people will love you for it. Drop a comment right now and tell me what lie you're still believing. I might not be around to read it, but someone will, and it could be the thing that saves them. And if this is hitting you somewhere in your chest, smash that like button. Not for the algorithm, for the kid version of yourself who watched your father fold and deserved to see him stand up. Now here's where everything broke, and I mean broke clean, like a bone that never set right again. Lisa's 16. I'm standing at the kitchen sink doing dishes after supper. Yellow wallpaper on the walls, peeling a little at the seam near the ceiling. That old brass light fixture buzzing overhead, throwing off its tired, warm glow. Soap bubbles popping quiet against my knuckles. Smell of meatloaf and boiled potatoes still sitting heavy in the air. The faucet had a drip I'd been meaning to fix for 3 years. Tap, tap, tap. Just like everything else in my life, I let it go. Lisa was around the corner in the hallway, about 10 feet from where I was standing, phone cord twisted around her finger. She didn't know I could hear. She was talking to her boyfriend, Danny. The kid was nervous about coming over for dinner that weekend. I could hear his tinny little voice crackling through the receiver, worrying about what to say to her old man. And Lisa laughed. Not a mean laugh. That's what destroyed me. It was casual, bored almost, like she was stating something as unremarkable as the weather outside. She said, "Relax. My dad won't say anything. He never does. He never does." 5 syllables to sum up 60 years of a man's life. He never does. I stood there gripping a wet dish rag. Suds dripped slow down my wrist onto the linoleum floor. The faucet dripped. The light buzzed. My hands started shaking. Not from anger, from shame. I did not walk around that corner. I did not say, "Excuse me, young lady." I did not do one single thing. I stood in that ugly yellow kitchen and proved my 16-year-old daughter exactly right. You think that sentence is the one I told you to listen for? The hidden word? It's close, real close, but that ain't it. Not yet. Keep listening. That night I lay in bed next to Margaret. Room smelled like that lavender lotion she rubbed on her hands every night before sleep. Same little bottle from the drugstore on 5th Street for 30 years. The sheets on my side were cold because I'd been standing alone in that kitchen for an hour after everybody went to bed, staring at a dish rag like it owed me answers. Margaret rolled over and found my eyes in the dark. She didn't need to ask what happened. She always knew. She said, "How many more years are you going to let them see you this way?" And I said what I always said. "See me how? I'm fine." She pulled the quilt up over her shoulder and turned her back to me. I lay there listening to the ceiling fan click through the silence until there was nothing left but the dark and the sound of her breathing. Next morning I got up, made coffee, and pretended nothing happened. That's what I was best at, pretending nothing happened. Lisa wasn't being cruel that night. That's the part that eats me alive 35 years later. She was telling the truth. In 16 years of watching me, my daughter had never once, not a single time, seen her father put his foot down about anything on God's green earth. Not about the overtime, not about the dented truck, not about Uncle Ray insulting me at my own Thanksgiving table. Not about one solitary thing. So when her boyfriend asked if her daddy was somebody to worry about, she gave the only honest answer she had. He never does. I know your thumb is hovering over that screen right now. You're thinking about scrolling away. Don't. If you've made it this far, it's because something bigger than both of us needed you to hear this tonight. Subscribe to this channel, not because some old man asked you to, but because the next video might be the one that saves your marriage, or your relationship with your kid, or the way you look at yourself in the mirror at night. Hit that like button. Think of it as a promise to yourself that you are done being the man people describe the way my daughter described me. That was 1989. It's 2024 now. Margaret passed 6 years ago. Took the lavender smell with her when she left this world. House smells like dust and cold coffee now. Tommy calls me on Father's Day and Christmas. 2 calls a year. I can hear his wife whispering in the background, feeding him things to say. Ask about his doctor visit. Tell him we'll come up soon. The calls last 4 minutes. I watch the clock on the kitchen wall. Sometimes 3. Lisa sends a card on my birthday. Store-bought. She signs it, Lisa. Not love Lisa, not your daughter, just Lisa. Like she's signing a receipt at the grocery store. They don't come to me for advice. Why would they? I never held an opinion strong enough to offer anyone. They don't ask me what I think about their marriages, their kids, their problems. Because I spent 60 years teaching them that what I think doesn't matter. That daddy's feelings are as flimsy as that welcome mat at the front door. And every morning, I open that door and look down at it. 30 years of boots and sneakers and delivery men grinding it flat without a second glance. Paper thin now, almost see-through. And every single morning I think the same thing. That mat never once stopped a single soul from walking all over it. It just lay there and took it, just like me. The word I've been holding back from you. You think you know what it is by now. Maybe you do. But knowing a word and living it are 2 different diseases entirely. I'm about to hand it to you, and it's going to make you sick how simple it is. I'm talking to you now. Yeah, you. The one watching this in the dark with the volume turned low so your wife won't hear. The one who said yes today when every cell in your body was screaming the opposite. The one whose kids are sitting at the dinner table right now, forming their opinion of you the exact same way Tommy and Lisa formed theirs of me. The word is no. 2 letters, 1 syllable, the most powerful word in any language. And I went 87 years without saying it when it counted. No, Harold, I'm going home to my family tonight. No, Dale, you are paying for that dent in my truck. No, Ray, you will not disrespect me at my own table in front of my children. No, Lisa, your father has plenty to say, and you are going to hear every word. Every time I stayed quiet, every time I smiled through it, every time I kept the peace, I wasn't being a good man. I was teaching my children that their father is not worth defending. And if your own daddy doesn't think he's worth standing up for, why in God's name should anyone else respect him? Tell me, why should they? You still got time. I don't. But God help me, you do. Say it today. Say it to the boss who piles it on because he knows you'll take it. Say it to the friend who only calls when they need a favor. Say it to that voice in your head telling you that being nice and being good are the same thing. They are not the same thing. Being nice got me a worn-out welcome mat and a daughter who signs my birthday card like she's filling out a form at the DMV. Now I've given you everything I have. Every scar, every silent kitchen, every night lying next to a woman who loved me enough to beg me to change, and watching me choose cowardice over and over again. I bled every last drop of pride I had left into this story and handed it to you for free. The only thing I'm asking, the only thing on this earth, hit subscribe and hit that bell, because I don't know how many of these I've got left in me. And if this made you feel something, anything at all, if your chest got tight even once, then like this video so the algorithm puts it in front of that 30-year-old kid sitting in his kitchen right now, swallowing his words the same way I swallowed mine for 60 years. Comment, "I heard you, old man," so I know it mattered. So I know I didn't bleed out for nothing. Don't be somebody's doormat and call it love.